Hi, everybody. This is the CIS DEI Task Force with Athena, Lupe, Lindy, and Brenda. And today we just kind of wanted to share a little bit about what we've been doing and why we've been doing it. We want to share a little bit of background information on DEI and an overview, as well as where we stand as an organization with DEI.
So we have the stakeholder commitment continuum, and this will assess where we are as an affiliate, starting with the awareness stage where we just have a basic awareness of the concepts that need to take place for us to implement this change. Then we have the understanding section, which is just understanding the real impacts of the change that will come across to our affiliate. And then we have the adoption stage, which is us adopting the change that we are wanting to see with diversity, equity, and inclusion. The ownership and promotion stage is where we consider the changing to the new status quo and understanding the benefits of this work. And then lastly, we have innovation, which gives us the space to be creative with how we want to implement changes to our diversity, equity, and inclusion work.
So awareness in this context is understanding the environment around you. Some examples of this are understanding the history of diversity in the town, school, and community, along with understanding cultures that surround you, and also understanding the different power dynamics that are at play.
So the CIS National released a national resource guide specifically for DEI. And so, we're all on the same page. They included these definitions for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so this is the diversity definition, and I won't read all of it, but a specific point that I like is stated on here: a person is not diverse, they are a unique individual unit. Diversity is about a collective or a group and can only exist in relationship to others.
So the next definition that we have is equity, and equity just recognizes and addresses the power dynamics by making sure that everyone has equal access to the same opportunities. The picture kind of shows equity does not equal equality, so that's something to be aware of, and that equity takes into account that people have different access to resources based on systems of oppression and privilege, and it seeks to balance those disparities.
The next definition is inclusion, which is celebrating, valuing, and amplifying different perspectives, voices, and values that have been disadvantaged and marginalized. We see here a graph of exclusion, what that looks like when those are outside of the norm, and then you have integration, which you still see a separation of folks that are marginalized and disadvantaged. And then with inclusion, you see that they are fully integrated into society and communities so that they are valued.
Being aware of the following definitions and understanding their impact will allow you to provide change for yourself while influencing those around you, such as students that we work with, staff, and community.
So in March, we received the opportunity to apply to be part of the Level 2 DEI National Cohort. And that prompted us as an affiliate to implement the Continuum Survey. And that survey was in hopes to give us information about where our site coordinators and our board are at in regards to DEI. And so we sent this out to all of our staff, and here are the results.
So the first question that we have is, how have site coordinators created and or shared unique ways to assist each other in using and improving DEI practices and strategies? In the future, what can they do? So I think a few things that kind of came up, and you guys can take a second to read all of the different answers, but us as an organization have allowed for open spaces to express our thoughts, which is very awesome. And it's been a benefit to a lot of people that we've been able to revisit DEI every month and kind of build on our skills and our awareness. And then some things that we can work on or work for the future is just communicating more and sharing more and allowing for more of that open communication.
The next question posed is, how are site coordinators at the forefront of the community in engaging with stakeholders around this work? And in the future, what can they do? Some of the answers that we received was having more exposure in the community to what CIS is doing in regards to diversity, equity, inclusion, partnering, collaborating through tabling and awareness events as well. Also attending different community meetings and conversing with community members about the work that we do, just on the variety of different levels, from site coordinators to the board to admin staff. We want to make sure that the community knows that Communities in Schools of Benton-Franklin is committed to this work, and that we will stand by other community partners who are also willing to engage in working through that.
Another question that was posed is, how have site coordinators introduced innovative ways to lead school-wide efforts to celebrate student diversity and contributions to the community? In the future, what can they do? A few of the things that stuck out to me were advocating for students who come from diverse cultural backgrounds, creating individualized programming based on the students and what you're seeing at your school, and having a cultural awareness week.
The next question was, how have site coordinators identified the spaces where they can be influential and further equity in their organization? In the future, what can they do? So some of the answers were having more conversations, promote more DEI strategies within the org, openness to continue learning, which we appreciate, and that's why we're going to take advantage of it during this time.
And next one is, how have site coordinators taken steps to decenter dominant cultures in the organization? In the future, what can they do? And so a few things that have come up was that we are trying to work harder to point out when something or someone might be wrong or incorrect about something. We are building an awareness of demographics and having active conversations on how to diversify through partnerships and through the hiring process. But as a whole, we saw quite a few responses that this is something that as an organization, we could work towards moving closer to decentralizing dominant cultures.
So just like Brenda mentioned in regards to the site coordinators completing a survey, we also posed the same survey to the board of directors in regards to their engagement with diversity, equity, inclusion work, and what that means to our affiliate as we move forward. And the board of directors are volunteers, but they're just as important as our staff engaging in this work, and we want to make sure that they're aware of what we're doing, why we're doing it, and why this work is impacting our students and families that we serve on a daily basis. So again, very excited that they want to continue and engage in this work as we move forward as an affiliate.
One of the questions posed to the board was, how has the board created and/or shared unique ways to assist each other in using and improving DEI practices and strategies? In the future, what can they do? A few of the things that stuck out to me is that the board wants to get trained on DEI. They want to have it be more of a prevalent conversation during their board meetings. And another thing was the creation of a mentorship program that gets students excited to finish school and pursue a college career.
The next question was, how has the board worked as thought leaders and partners at the forefront of this work? In the future, what can they do? Again, they want to continue to partner and work in this within the DEI scope. They're committed to what we do and what the staff is doing. And on another point, they're not sure that what they have done, and they know that they need to do more work within this scope.
And how has the board worked to influence local, state, and/or national policies around DEI in the future? What can they do? I think that this is something that they felt that they have not done much of so far, but they are all willing to kind of work towards influencing local, state, and national policies by just reaching out, speaking to representatives, continuing to support staff, school districts, and agencies, and then provide legal testimonies, assist with community events just to show community support and participation throughout the board.
The next question is, how has the board worked to influence institutional practices that advances DEI? And in the future, what can they do? So going back to what Athena had mentioned, they haven't done a lot of this work, but we want to make sure that we're presenting them with the opportunities to engage, to further the work, and to be complementary to what staff is doing. So again, just making sure that we're highlighting those opportunities for them.
Here are the results from the quiz based on the DEI continuum set out by national.
So the first quiz that we sent out to site coordinators was the Equity and Diversity in the US quiz. And again, these quizzes are just to evaluate our level of awareness as an affiliate. So we had 7 responses, 10 questions, and we assigned 1 point per question. So we averaged around 5.29 points out of 10. And these were our frequently missed questions.
The next quiz that we asked you guys to complete was the class and poverty in the US quiz. We had 8 responses for this one, and again, 10 questions. So like the previous slide, these are our frequently missed questions. And then as a result, we had 3.75 out of 10 points.
And then the last one is who said it. So we had 6 responses, 15 questions, 1 point per question, with an average of 7.5 points out of 15. So again, just going back to the last 2 quizzes that were taken by site coordinators, that we definitely need to be more engaged in this work so that we can, as an affiliate, improve and move forward in a way that is strategic and thoughtful.
So what's next for the DEI task force? Continued efforts to spread awareness to site coordinators, board members, and the admin team. We will be providing you guys with PowerPoints on the history of Richland, Pasco, Kennewick, and Prosser, and understand the communities that we work in. We will make sure that there are resources available for staff and students to further implement DEI. And CISBF has been chosen as one of the 16 affiliates to participate in the level 2 cohort with CIS National. And the last thing that I want to add is that we have an amazing advantage to teach and reach a large amount of people through this work, share with them the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion.